Oh, hey, it's Lysithia's birthday. Gotta have a tea party. Let's see. She likes sweet things. Um, let's give her some honeyed fruit.
Did you call me? Oh, this is my favorite tea. Do you, have sugar? Lots, please. I am grateful.
Imagine getting an
So
extremely
sweet.
sweet tea and then
Anything's
asking
fine.
for lots of sugar. Let's see. What is Lysithia? She a cat person? She is a cat person. Okay. Um, Library's collection?
Well now.
Nice, nice. What else you got for me? Not plans for the future. Not fashion, so by default, I guess it's got to be exploring the monastery. No? Oh well.
It's not in me to put energy into things that won't yield results. I just don't see the point.
Alright, well, we'll commend her for that. Oh.
Ah, that tea was delicious. Invite me again sometime.
Oh, well.
Thank you so much.
Alright.
Thanks. I'm glad I asked you.
Quest completion
Appreciate
to turn in. Fine. Next, we've got our reports to do. Now, I know that's a pretty full list, so we're probably in for a little while, but hang in there, for my sake. Start off, Claude.
Oh, hey there. What are you doing up at this hour?
I could ask you the same, Mr. Leader
My
Man.
brain's just busy. Thoughts keep going around and around in there, and meanwhile my eyes are wide open. At times like this, I like to gaze up at the stars to clear my head. I've been that way since I was a kid. Looking up at the big starry sky makes my dreams feel small, which makes it feel like I can actually make them come true. I didn't believe in gods when I was a kid. Maybe that's because the night sky took their place for me. Hey, Teach. Will you talk with me a while?
What I'm
I
here
bet
for.
you figured this out, but I wasn't born in Fodlan. Where I come from, the people of Fodlan are looked down on as cowards. Technically, that cowardice runs in my veins. On my mother's side, anyway. That's why the people who were around me when I was growing up thought of me as an outsider. But I don't believe the people of Fodlan are cowards. That kind of perspective is just based on ignorance. The person from Fodlan who I know best is my mother. She fell in love with a man from the wrong side of the border and had the guts to leave home to pursue that love. I always threw that in the faces of anyone who tried to make a fool of me. My mother is proof the people of Fodlan aren't all cowards. Just saying that doesn't achieve anything, though. I need to destroy the prejudices that have taken root in my homeland. That's why I came here, to see Fodlan with my own eyes. I thought I might be able to find a new perspective that could help me change things. And what did I find? That the people here view anyone who's an outsider as a beast of sorts. I was shocked. Even though our cultures and beliefs are completely different, our two lands have that much in common. That's when I realized the only way to change things is to bring the whole world together and start anew. That's the dream I've been working towards since I first entered the Officers Academy 5 years ago. To unify the Alliance, and then all of Fodlan, and to bring a new set of values to this new land of mine. After that, I'd expand that vision to the rest of the world, break down the walls and let a new perspective come rushing in. Start all over. Do you think that's just a crazy pipe dream or a brilliant ambition?
I'm going with ambition. But can you rise to the challenge?
Not too long ago, I would have said it was too much for me to accomplish on my own. But that's not how I feel anymore. And that's because I have you on my side now. Lately, I've spent a lot of time thinking about how I wouldn't have made it this far without you. You and me, Teach. We can go anywhere. Do anything. I hope that you always walk in step with me. At least, until the day comes when we can look out at the peaceful world we've built. Together.
Well, that all sounds good to me. Who's next? Leonie.
Hey, Professor. Can we talk? I feel terrible about the last time we spoke. I was trying to apologize and just ended up losing my temper again. I'm really sorry.
I do want to point out that that happened immediately after Gerald died. Wanted to apologize, then she got mad at Boylith not appreciating Gerald enough. Right after Gerald died. Of course, this is all 5 years ago, so we'll just say, I don't mind.
I figured you'd say that, but I still feel like an idiot. Somehow, I just have a hard time keeping my feelings in check around you. And I think if I don't just tell you what I'm thinking, we'll never be able to have a normal conversation. So, let me clear the air. I want us to, engage.
You want to get engaged?
Yeah, wait, what? No, I mean in a duel. I know it's a sudden thing to ask, but I'm not going to feel settled until I know where I stand. Would you do that for me?
Oh, well, that's,
Good.
yeah.
Don't hold back, okay? I want to see you at your absolute best.
Oh, no, you don't, Leonie.
Phew. You got me. I'm completely outmatched.
Oh. Try to make her feel better. We'll patronize her.
Maybe. But you were definitely stronger. Honestly, that's what I needed to see. You're a true successor to Captain Gerald's style of swordplay. I almost felt like you were him. I thought I was competing with you. But that's as pointless as competing against him would have been. So instead of that, I'm going to focus on keeping the promise I made to him.
Alright, what is that
Captain
promise?
Gerald said that if anything should happen to him, I'd have to support you in his place. He didn't sound serious at the time, but it was right before he... you know, before we lost him. So, I've decided. I'd like to do just what he said. I know I'm not as strong as I need to be, but I swear to you, I'll train until I am. What do you say? Can I call you my employer?
Oh, that's...
Yes, it's
Fine.
official. I'll protect you no matter what.
Fine. Employer has a weird ring to it. I don't like it. Let's see. We'll clear this with Flayn. I know we've already done this. And Cyril. I don't remember this one.
Whew, time for a breather. Hey, Professor.
If I need
Yep,
to,
noticed you
I'll
have
skip
been
it.
too. Seems like it's been a real rough day for just about everybody, huh? I've been so busy I still haven't eaten. I hope there's still food left.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I have seen this. We have seen this. Fine. Claude. Lorenz. Alright.
The earth nurtures the trees, and the trees bear fruit. It's the earth itself that gives us all life. Oh, Fodlan, land of plenty, bless us with the gift of delicious food.
What are you doing?
Oh, it's just you, Lawrence.
I was disturbed by your ridiculous blather. Must you recite it quite so loudly? And can you even call that nonsense poetry when it is utterly ignorant of rhyme and meter?
Ouch! You don't hold back, do you? I didn't know you were so particular about poetry. Ha! Maybe you have a secret poetry collection of your own hidden somewhere.
He
It's absurd. Where did you hear that?
totally does.
And just what was that poem about? It seemed to me that you were praising the land. But is it not the goddess who nurtures the land? Should your praise not go to her instead?
Of course you zero in on that detail. You really are a Fodlan noble through and through.
Certainly. Aren't you?
I'm not quite the same, no. Though noble blood flows within me, it can't change who I am at heart.
Pardon? I think you had best clarify.
Listen, Lorenz, you had ambitions of becoming the Alliance's ruler, didn't you? Would you like to try that for real? If you really want it, I wouldn't mind giving up my position.
What's this all of a sudden? That is not an offer to be made in jest.
I'm not joking around. I've been thinking it for a while now. I originally thought you were like a fox drawn in by the deer of the Alliance. But I was wrong. You're no thoughtless predator. You're trying to properly train the deer around you. Isn't that right?
That is my intention. But the ambition is insufficient. To rule well, a certain temperament is required. When we first met, I mistrusted you a great deal, and on my father's advice, I observed you closely. That is why I can say this for certain. You possess the qualities necessary to govern.
A compliment from you? That's about as rare as a deer standing on its hind legs and doing a jig.
Merely a statement of fact, one that is quite relevant to the future of the Alliance.
The future of the Alliance, huh? You really are devoted to your cause.
Depending on your actions, I may yet see fit to seize your position for myself. Bear that in mind.
I welcome the idea. It means I can feel safe vanishing whenever I see fit.
Vanishing? Do not tell me you intend to die in this conflict. You cannot shape the future if you do not live to see it.
Ha! First you compliment me, and now you're worrying about me? What have you done with the real Lorenz? No, I'm not going to die. I'm tougher than I look. Besides, this war isn't just for the Alliance anymore. It's going to decide the fate of all Fodlan. It would be cruel to leave you with the burden of uniting all of Fodlan by yourself, don't you think?
Burden? Please. If there were none other suitable, I would gladly become a king. Or even an emperor.
Well, well. I guess I shouldn't take Lorenz of the famous House Gloucester so lightly. Really, though. Don't you go dying on me either, Lorenz. We're going to need men like you in the age to come.
The same to you, Claude. A world without you would be ever so dull.
Alright, Lorenz is starting to redeem himself in my eyes. Slowly but surely. Finally. After 5 years.
I feel like I'm drowning in responsibilities. Claude, take my mind off it all. Regale me with another of your weird childhood stories.
Okay, then. How about an old story from a foreign land that my dad told me when I was a kid? Once upon a time, there was a white camel that got separated from his herd.
I'm so happy for that white camel. I really thought he was gonna die.
Was that story really worth bawling your eyes out over?
It was wonderful. Don't you know how moving that story is?
You know, I never thought much of it until today. But seeing you bawling like that, I do appreciate it a little more now.
What's that mean?
Well, you're always fake crying, aren't you? Getting all misty-eyed to make people think you're a delicate flower?
What? You're awful. I only cry when I'm sad.
Claim what you like, but I can spot real tears from fake tears any day of the week. Fess up.
If you understand me so well, maybe it's because you're no different.
How's that?
When you smile or laugh, it's not sincere. I can tell. I've only seen you genuinely smile a handful of times. Like when you're talking to the professor.
Wow, good one, Hilda. You hit me right in the gut. I guess you're right. I'm not so different from you in that way. But how did you come to realize that? Have you been watching me that closely?
I'm afraid so. My eyes seem to wander toward you of their own accord. What? Hold on. Forget I said that. I didn't say that.
Nope, no can do. Forgetting isn't something this crafty brain of mine is capable of. Besides, my eyes have a tendency to wander in your direction too. How else do you think I found out about your fake crying?
Huh? What are you getting at?
Say, Hilda, once everything's settled down, do you want to come meet my parents? I mean, don't get the wrong idea, you just seem interested in my family. Besides, you've opened up to me quite a bit, but I still haven't let you in on my own secrets. If you meet my parents, I think you'll understand, though it might come as a bit of a surprise.
Your family? I'd be lying if I said I wasn't curious.
Well then, if neither of us changes our minds before the opportunity presents itself, let's agree to go visit my home together.
Although, if it's a long journey, my brother might not be too happy.
True, that might be a tough nut to crack. As tough as Fodlan's locket.
Can't believe the cool and attractive people are interested in each other. Anyway, Lorenz has... Oh, this should be good. First, Manuela.
As my mind clings to desperate thoughts, here it comes, horsebow, moon, and summer's end. Did you hear me just now? What did you think?
Marvelous, as though sung by the goddess herself. Enchanting, heartrending, your voice truly captivates all who hear. It is as though you channel all the emotion and human experience of your life into the music.
Well, I guess I have my fair share of life experience, so long as you're not implying I'm old.
No, that is not... I mean to say that you skillfully applied your own interpretation in the music.
Interpretation? When I sing, I am not interpreting. I'm scarcely thinking at all. I simply yield my heart to the poetry, and the emotion follows naturally.
I believe that is what they call genius. I hope you will permit me to listen again. I would like to hear it up close next time.
Of course. Next time I'll perform a private show. Just the two of us.
Wow,
You
Manuela.
mock me.
Never. I wasn't mocking you. In fact, I'd like to see some more of your poetry.
My poetry? Why?
I'd like to use it for another song. I promise that when it's done, you'll be the first to hear.
Please, my poetry is merely an idle pursuit.
That doesn't matter. The words are unadorned, the feelings so direct. Your poems have touched my heart. They are so true to life.
I suppose there is a certain appeal in the portrayal of such dark emotions, even if it is a bit graceless. Very well. Take this. You may use any of the poems I've finished working on.
Oh my, I can hardly wait. Is this the next part of the poem I was singing just now?
Yes. I wrote that after I heard you sing the first part. I had nearly given up on it, to be honest, but your music gave me the inspiration to continue. Though it is still quite unpolished and not at all ready for a broader readership, I feel.
Unpolished? No, Lorenz. It's beautiful. Thank you. To think that my voice inspired you. Yet, it's you who inspires my voice. I'm so excited to start a new song.
Yes, please do.
Gosh, is that going to be the paired ending for them? Alright. Now for what I'm expecting to be a complete contrast, here's Catherine.
Let's put the match on hold for now, Lorenz. Or if you can't wait, we'll say you won.
No. Let us resume it later. You haven't yet had the chance to use Thunderbrand.
You weren't using a relic either. If you had been, you would have won easily. Even without it, you're stronger than I expected. You seem to be fighting more intensely than usual.
Under ordinary circumstances, I'd have surely lost. but I had a vested interest in testing your character. If your swordplay relied at all on the dirty tricks of a fugitive, I would have felt compelled to defeat you.
Are you saying you fought more ably because you had a sense of purpose?
Not as such, although I admit that when we crossed blades, I became envious of your strength. I caught a glimpse, in your elegant swordsmanship, of an aspect of the noble ideal that I yet lack. That envy is perhaps what drove me to fight so hard.
Interesting.
I was also able to satisfy my curiosity. You are no criminal, but rather a lady of great conviction.
That might be an exaggeration. I've done some things I'm not proud of.
Modest as ever. Another of your noble qualities.
Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm no longer a noble.
Whatever your title, the responsible use of power is the very hallmark of nobility. Deny it all you like, but the way I see it, you are indeed a true noble.
I don't want to be a true noble. I won't be tied down by any stuffy idea of nobility. Although, if this is your way of flirting with me, perhaps I can be persuaded otherwise.
That's rather sudden.
Tell me, Lorenz, do you often woo noble women? As a true noble, I must be an ideal target for a fellow like you.
Since you put it that way, apologies, but I confess you've rendered me quite speechless.
Good.
Lighten up. I'm just teasing. You're clearly not ready to woo me.
Not ready? Do I not suffice for you? Is there some flaw that I could conceivably correct?
Oh, Lorenz.
You're more open-minded than you used to be, but you're still so hung up on status and lineage. If you became a more tolerant person, maybe it would work out. What matters isn't someone's blood, it's what they want, what they fear, what they accomplish. When you understand that, let me know, and I might just fall for you.
Just wait and you shall see, Catherine. I fully intend to live up to the very highest of your standards.
Can't believe Lawrence gets around like that. Here we go. Raphael and Ignatz. Let's see how the best friends are doing. The childhood friends.
Hey, Raphael. Reading a letter?
Well, if it isn't old Ignatz. I got a message here from my sis.
Oh, a letter from Maya. I haven't seen her in so long. I bet she's all grown up.
Nah, she's still a shrimp. It's been a while since I saw her. But she's probably only up to your shoulders.
Wow. I can't believe she's gotten that tall.
I wrote to tell her about how we're friends again. Do you remember this?
Is that the picture I drew for her?
She sent it along with the letter. I guess she held on to it since we were kids. All right, that's enough looking. She said to show it to you and send it right back.
To think she's handling my little doodle with such reverence. That warms my heart. I remember the day I gave Maya that drawing. She looked so happy. Before then, I never knew I could make people happy with art. It was a revelation. I've been drawing and painting ever since, in hopes of becoming an artist one day.
You're much better now, so it must be paying off. I bet you could be a real artist.
No, that's not possible, I'm afraid. I have to consider my parents' wishes.
Who cares what your parents want? It's not like you're a noble or nothing. Your fate is your own.
Huh. You think so?
I know so. And I'm gonna support you with whatever dream you got. Okay, let me see. What's the first step to follow your dreams? Oh, got it. You should paint me.
Paint you?
Yeah, I want my little sis to know how good I'm doing here. So I gotta send her proof. Plus, she'll be doubly impressed if it's a painting you
Trisha,
made.
hello. It's
Good
for
point.
Emblem.
I can certainly try to capture your likeness. I'll paint you with a warm, cheerful expression on your face to bring Maya comfort.
My face? No way! You gotta get my muscles in there. Mostly my chest and arms.
Are you sure that's what she'd want to see?
It's going quite well.
Wait, before you start painting, I gotta get me a little more training in. If my muscles aren't bulging, then what's the point?
As you can
I'm
tell,
not sure
Raphael
about
is
this.
so very good. We're just going through a bunch of support conversations. Ah. I see. So basically what I've been doing here, I've been mixing up the character interactions with, you know, the battles and gameplay, so we're just having characters chat with each other, having a good time. Being best friends. Or possibly more. I don't know, we'll see.
Hey, writing to your sister again?
You bet! Gotta reply to these things as soon as they come in.
You had one last week, too. It's great to see you're both so good about staying in touch. It's especially important when there's a war going on.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. My sister wrote to say how much she loved the painting supplies you sent.
Good. I'm glad gathering those pigments paid off.
You even made her a brush. I really appreciate you doing all that for her.
I was fascinated with painting at that age.
That is wrong, but I get the spirit of what you're going for. He does care very much about his little sister. He's a big man with a big heart. He's great. I love him.
I was a pretty artistic kid, if you can believe it. Not a lot of time for it when you're hungry, though.
Sounds like you had a pretty tough time growing up, too, huh?
I guess so. We never thought of it that way. But it's true, the children in my village don't usually get to choose their futures. Any one of us could have had the talent for artistic genius and never even noticed. I was one of the lucky ones. I only got to follow my passion thanks to my father and all the other folks. That's why, once I come into my own, the first thing I'll do is head back there and help the other kids.
Oh, wow. It's like all the kids in your village are counting on you.
No need to exaggerate it. Besides, it's not like I'm unique. You're working hard for your sister's future, aren't you?
Yeah. It's like me and you are both carrying big weights. We should try sharing the weight with each other. You know, lighten both of our loads.
Huh?
If we share our problems, then we only gotta carry half the weight, right? It works out for everybody.
It's probably a good thing you didn't try to take on your family's business. If you take half of my burden and I take half of yours, the total's still the same.
Alright, so the other thing with Raphael, he comes from a family of merchants. He comes from a family of merchants, but he is he's not particularly smart. Very, very sweet, very kind-hearted. He's not that bright. So he's trying to become a knight so he can make money that way instead of through the buying and selling of various goods.
Nah, that doesn't sound right. Everything's lighter when you don't gotta carry it alone.
On second thought, you might be right. With the right attitude and the right partner to share the burden, maybe it is only half the weight.
Now you're getting it. It's a waste of energy to struggle alone when there's someone who can help you.
That's true. And I do hate waste, as you well know. So when it comes to working toward the future you're after, you know I won't fall short.
Great! And you should never fall short on sharing a big meal with me, too.
Deal.
He also likes to eat. A lot. Mostly meat. Gotta feed those muscles, after all. Meanwhile... I mean, that's
Nice
it.
work. Here you go. Drink
That's
up.
him in a
Oh,
nutshell.
thank you. This water tastes absolutely divine.
Your shouts are really coming from the gut now. I bet you're getting stronger, too.
I'm not so sure I'm stronger, but somehow, when I shout, I'm able to move more books than normal. Although my brother becomes very anxious anytime he hears me shouting.
Meanwhile, this storyline here is that Flayn wants to become stronger. And who better to learn how to become stronger, who better to teach how to become stronger than the biggest guy around. And his advice is to work on your battle cry. Do a good shout, you feel way more powerful. So it's all about that.
I do suppose my body feels a bit sturdier now, though. I'm so very grateful
I mean,
to you, Raphael.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
no, thank
How
you.
it works.
I'm just happy to have someone to shout with.
But doesn't all this shouting keep you from your precious workout regimen?
Nah, don't worry about that. I think I'm in better shape now than I was before. My muscles work overtime when they hear you shouting so close to me.
Isn't that wonderful? Come along, Raphael's muscles. We can do this. It is my wish that someday I'll be able to lift a log all on my own with these arms of mine.
I'm sure they will. I used to think you were lost cause, but look at you now.
I want to point out that, of course, she looks exactly the same as when she started.
If you really want to get there, you gotta start training your muscles when we shout, alright? You've already got big brains. But if we can get you big muscles too, you're gonna be invincible.
Invincible! I like the sound of that.
God, I love this stuff. Let's see, what else have we got? Got Artist Nerd and the popular girl.
Oof. Capsized the teapot. Tea leaves on the carpet. This'll be fun to clean up.
Hey, Hilda. Is something wrong?
Ignatz. I accidentally knocked over my teapot. I'd drunk all the tea already, thank the goddess, but the tea leaves went right into the carpet.
Actually, since this is more or less your first time seeing this stuff, while you bring up the visuals, I do want to point out, just keep an eye out for what happens in the background art. No, it'll be most obvious certain angles. Here it's fine, mostly, but there's a whole thing they do.
Oh, that's a mess. Here, let me help. I can leave stains if you're not careful.
But don't you have somewhere to be?
Oh no, don't worry. I'm on a break.
There it is. Look what's going on with that dresser over there. The angles at play. I don't know what they were thinking. That is exactly it. Wow.
What's that in your hands? Oh, painting supplies. You were gonna go do some painting, weren't you?
I mean, it seems like
Yes.
it would be
The weather's
fine
quite splendid.
if the
I
camera
thought a
weren't
place with
panning
gorgeous
around like
flowers
that,
blooming. But the flowers aren't
and
going
they
anywhere
just
this
had
clean
specific
this up.
angles.
Okay. Thanks, Ignatz, and sorry to keep you away from your painting.
That's okay. It didn't stain at least. You picked all the leaves out of the carpet.
Still going painting? Or is it too late in the day?
No, I think time-wise it'll be fine. If you're not doing anything, Hilda, would you care to join me?
Like they took a 360
I'm
panorama
sorry,
shot
I didn't mean to make you
from,
uncomfortable.
you know, a
Forget what
single
I said.
point.
I'm sure you're busy anyway.
You didn't let me say anything.
Well, no, but you didn't reply, so I thought you didn't want to.
I never said I didn't want to. I was just surprised. I'd love to see those pretty flowers you mentioned. I'm glad you invited me.
Oh, that's good. Wait, you're glad?
Of course I am. I like being invited to things, silly.
She's the popular
Right,
girl,
right,
of course.
It's affirming.
Yeah, exactly. See? You get it. So there's no need to worry that an invitation is burdening someone. It feels good to be asked.
Of course, of course. Well then, in addition to seeing the flowers with me, would you like to help with my painting?
I wouldn't want to screw up your opus. I'm not much of a painter.
No, I meant that I'd like to paint you, with the flowers all around you. Oh, that's too much, isn't it? Forget I said anything.
Silly, you didn't even let me answer. But you're right, I'm not up for that.
I'm sorry,
I'm not up for that, unless your painting of me will look really, really cute. Can you make that happen?
Huh? Yes, of course. I'll paint you cute as a button.
Good. Shouldn't be too hard. I can feel a very cute smile coming on.
Well, I'm glad they're having fun. Even if it's not quite as fun as practicing your war cries.
Flayn! Excuse me, quick question. Can I paint you?
Oh, hello, Ignatz. What an unexpected surprise.
I'd like to paint your portrait, Flayn. For some reason, whenever I try to visualize Saint Sethlene, I think of you.
No wonder I've repeatedly felt someone's eyes boring holes into the back of my head lately. You're quite lucky my brother hasn't noticed. It would be wise to back away from me before he does.
Although...
Thanks for stopping by.
I shall
Appreciate
agree
it.
to your request, on the understanding that you paint me to be more illustrious than Saint Sethlene.
More illustrious than the statue? Surely you mean as illustrious.
Am I not the more illustrious? The more breathtaking?
Well, true, you are a sight to behold. Though I'm not sure
Oh
about
gosh,
the competitive
even a
tenor of that
subscription.
question. I'd
How
expect
kind.
you, as an admirer of Saint Sethlene, to speak more... admiringly?
An admirer, hmm? You say such funny things. Now then, would you like me to pose? Oh, I have many ideas up my sleeve.
A pose? No need. You can just sit down.
Are you certain about that? It sounds rather... dull. How long will it take you?
A few days, I imagine, but that's okay. You can just come by whenever you have time. Oh, and if you don't mind, could you tell me some more stories about her? The stories you tell about Saint Sethlene are so much more vivid than the other legends I've heard.
How weird.
She seems so impressive, so fierce. I can't help but admire her too.
Actually, I have changed my mind. No longer do you need to paint me as illustrious. Instead, paint me as fierce!
Sure, I guess. I think cute might suit you a little better, though.
Did you not just say that Saint Sethlene had an impressive and fierce way about her? Well, if that is the case, then I too would like to look fierce. You're welcome to paint me repeatedly until you get the expressiveness just right. Rather, you must paint me repeatedly until I am satisfied with the outcome.
Wow, Flayn.
I'm not sure I can ever produce a painting that completely satisfies you, but I'll try. I said I would, and I will not go back on my word. Even if this painting takes me months. That wouldn't be a problem, would it?
Not at all. We're friends, aren't we? I am happy to help with a friend's request, even if it takes centuries to complete.
Thank you for that. Though I hope it doesn't take quite that long.
Centuries, huh? Oh, Flayn. Always, dropping those hints. Like Cynthia. Oh, Hanneman. Alright, fair enough.
Did you want something, Professor Hanneman?
Ah, Lysithia. Thank you for coming. First, I ask that you allow me to apologize. I fear I hurt you with my insensitive words. I have failed you, not as a researcher, but as a human being.
I'm the one who should apologize. I'm sorry for being rude to you. Anyway, I'll keep going along with your research. I have to be on my way now.
Please, Lysithea, a moment more. I did not call you here simply to apologize. I told you once that you were an exquisite subject for my crest research. Why? Because there are no records of any other person ever having borne 2 crests.
Correct.
We cannot say anything for certain about the makeup of your body. Therefore, it seems hasty to conclude that overcoming your shortened lifespan is an impossible feat.
What is it you're implying?
Lysithea, what is my field of study?
Crestology, of course.
Indeed, and the goal of my field is to unravel every single mystery crests might conceal. Someday, I even hope to devise a means to bestow a crest upon any who desires one.
Why would you want to do such a thing?
Because I despise this world in which the presence or absence of a crest can determine a person's worth.
Huh.
However, if artificially implanting a crest causes too great a toll on the subject, it would be useless. As such, reducing the strain of crests on the human body is one of my research goals. Understanding how to implant a crest might also lead to the knowledge of how to remove them. Yes?
Do you think removing a crest could mean that they won't suffer from its effects any longer?
What I am trying to tell you is, the question of whether your lifespan can be restored is entirely within the scope of my research.
Could you really do that?
It is difficult to say for sure, but as long as the possibility exists, I will continue to seek it. Lysithea, let me ask you once more. Will you assist me in my research?
Professor Hanneman, I think I'm the one who should be asking for your help, really. Anyway, I'm sick of a crest determining a person's worth, too.
Ah, is that right? Perhaps you would even like to begin studying crestology yourself. I think you would make a fantastic apprentice. A life devoted to research is a noble life, you know.
If you do manage to restore my lifespan, I'd certainly think about it.
I will hold you to those words. Ah, I see a fine future ahead of us.
That was good to see. Very important for Lysithea's personal story, so glad for that.
Hilda? I wanted to thank you for helping me in the infirmary. I brought you these pastries. Ooh, thanks. I'll put some tea on. Have a seat. That sounds lovely. But I also wanted to apologize for always causing you such trouble. It's no trouble. No trouble at all. Everything tastes better with friends, don't you think? I give you help, you give me sweets, we have a little tea party. It's a good arrangement, I'd say. I'm used to it now, so if it changed suddenly, I would feel disoriented. I suppose if you're enjoying yourself, then it can't be that bad. Sure, you don't seem to mind listening while I gab, so I'm enjoying myself plenty. But do let me know if I'm too boring. No, you're not boring at all. In fact, you're, very good at talking. You're also good with your hands. You can clean and organize better than almost anyone. I envy you. Oh, stop. I'm blushing. I'm not as great as all that. We're both a lot different on the inside than we look on the outside, don't you think? How do you mean? People who see you think you're so proper, but you're actually clumsy. That's why I help you, because there are some things you just can't do. I'm sorry you always have to clean up after me. I didn't say I hated it. In fact, you've taught me a few new techniques I can use to persuade people.
Oh, Hilda.
Maybe I'll start imitating you a little bit. I'll do the Marianne. That sheepish, sorry, and those quavering downcast eyes. But that might not work as well for me. People would probably assume that I'd hit my head.
Oh, well.
Aw, Marianne laughing at me. So rude and yet so adorable.
I'm so sorry. I just can't help it. When I imagine you doing those things,
Yeah. It's rather un-Hilda-like, I'll admit. Okay, that's enough laughing.
I'm so sorry.
Hey, are you alright? That tea's hot, Marianne. Be careful.
Yes. Oh, ouch, hot.
Come on, what did I just say?
I know, I'm sorry. Ow, hot.
Oh boy, a real steady hand, that Marianne. It's nice to see her laugh. Sure, she was laughing at me, but how can I get mad when she looks so dang cute?
Just a couple of gals being pals. Alright, Marianne and Hanneman.
Professor Hanneman?
Why, hello, Miss Marianne. A visit from you is a rare pleasure indeed.
I wanted your opinion on something.
Oh, how intriguing. Whatever is on your mind.
I'm beginning to feel that I should accept who I am. I thought it might be time to change my training regimen, to utilize my crest, even if just a little.
This is very good timing.
What a splendid thought. Quite exceptional. May I ask how it is you've reached this conclusion? I admit, I did not imagine my words would do much to sway you.
Well, it may or may not have involved defeating an ancestor from 1,000 years ago who'd been turned into a beast.
The truth is that I was already considering it before we spoke. All of my allies work relentlessly to achieve their goals, both on and off the battlefield. Seeing this, it occurred to me that I have nothing to work toward. I'm no use to anyone. If I could accept who I am, even a little, I might be able to change that. I was still considering, but after we spoke about it, well...
Well, indeed. So it seems my words resonated with you after all.
I'm sorry. I know I'm not the best at communicating. But it's true. Your words gave me a lot to think about. They helped me come to this decision. Whatever my crest, it should serve me.
That's it. Exactly right, Miss Marianne.
That's not to say I've accepted it completely, but I refuse to continue living in fear of myself.
I have every confidence that you will succeed at drawing out your crest's full strength.
Marianne has
I
come
intend
such
to
a
help
long
you
way.
at every step. If you'll have my help, that is.
Of course. Your knowledge is much appreciated.
Alright, we're getting towards the end here. Hilda and Sedith. I have no idea what this is
Oh,
like.
Sedith! Good day to you, and farewell.
Just a moment, Hilda. How are you feeling?
Sorry? Oh, fine. I'm doing just fine.
I'm glad to hear it. I had heard that you requested a substitute for your cleaning duty due to an illness.
Oh no.
You really do know everything, Sedith.
Just prior to that, you also asked for someone to take your place with table setting. I believe that was due to a wrist injury. It was not too serious, I hope.
Ah, you heard about that. The wrist is all healed up, thank you.
I seem to recall also that you declined to participate in a mock battle. That was due to a headache, yes?
I have a very fragile body, you see. It's so kind of everyone to make accommodations.
Oh my god.
Indeed. It is a great friend who offers to help without complaint. See that you treasure such friends, and that you return the favor.
Of course. Well, then I should really be...
By the way...
Was there something else you wanted?
It so happens I am on my way to the chapel to offer my prayers. Would you care to join me?
Oh no, I wouldn't want to intrude. I've already offered up all my prayers for the day.
Marvelous. We must always remember to give our thanks to the goddess. It is essential that we offer our prayers to her each day, that we reflect on our deeds and strive to live as she would want us to live. For the goddess sees all that we say and do.
Oh,
Now, if you will excuse me.
Alright, I've never seen
course.
Columbo, but
Goodbye
did Sedith just do a Columbo? I feel like he just did a Columbo.
It's so scary. It feels like he can see right through me. I guess that's his way of saying stop being lazy. I wish he'd just scold me outright. This is precisely why I try to avoid him.
Honestly, with that vaguely sinister music, that was great. I think I'm gonna have to pursue that support chain. Wrap up
Hi, Cyril. Starting to clean, huh?
this one.
Hilda?
Personally, I'm all worn out from carrying water and fodder for the horses. I'm going to rest here a sec.
Whoa, tired? Water? Horses? Are you saying you did work all by yourself?
What else was I supposed to do? You weren't here to help.
Okay, I get it. You did the work because you couldn't find nobody else to do it for you.
I was waiting for you. Because look.
A letter?
I told you I'm always getting letters from my brother. I wrote about you in a couple of mine.
You're talking about me behind my back? Honestly, you're so...
We didn't say anything bad. In fact, well, listen up. Here's what my brother wrote. Be he Almiran or no, any young man with compassion and good conduct is worthy of respect. Character is what really matters, not the place of one's birth.
Huh, that's pretty nice. Especially since it was from a noble who battles Almirans.
Right? He's a funny one, but for the first time, I really respect him. So thoughtful and tolerant.
That letter makes me happy. A lot of people look down on me just because I'm Almiran. So, you know, it's nice to hear somebody accept me as just another person.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean? I've accepted you from the start. I mean, you're so helpful. You do everything I ask.
That's not acceptance. That's relying on somebody else to do your work. What you ought to do is be a grown-up who your brother doesn't need to worry about so much.
I'm plenty grown up. I just brought food and water for the horses, all on my own.
Being proud of doing what you're supposed to be doing just means you're lazy the rest of the time.
Oh.
Though, I gotta admit, being relied on is kinda nice.
In that case, from now on, I'll rely on you even more. Let's see. First, I need you to...
Well, time to get back to work.
Hey, hold up!
I'm so glad, though, that Cyril will not have any of Hilda's shit. Like, Hilda's great, don't get me wrong. I'm just glad that there's someone out there who won't put up with it.
Oh, hello, Sedith.
Hello, Leone. I imagine you are here to fish?
Yeah, this is a great spot for it. You must be a pretty experienced fisherman, huh?
Actually, while I have enjoyed the hobby for a long while, I must admit I am less than proficient.
Now that you mention it, I can see you're not having much luck today.
It is likely because I am not using any bait.
Well, that explains it. But why bother fishing at all if you're not even trying to catch something?
Truthfully, I fish only so that I might relax. It is soothing to me to cast the line and watch the water ripple. My days are busy, even hectic. It helps to find peace and quiet every so often.
Oh, that makes sense. Still, if you're going to go to all the trouble, you may as well actually bait the line.
Maybe so. But, to my chagrin, I do not even know what type of bait to use. I learned to fish by accompanying my wife. She was always the one to bait the hooks. She would hand me the rod, and I would cast my line. I never paid attention to how the rest was done.
Ah. And your wife, where is she now?
She passed away quite some time ago. Since then, I have only to fish on my own. Even so, I find peace out here. Bait or no bait. What about you? Why do you fish?
Me? Just for the fish, actually. For me, it's purely practical. Catch a bite now, one less meal to worry about later. Hunting, fishing, whatever it takes to get by. That's how I've always done it. I'm not exactly starving right now, but back then if I couldn't catch something, I'd go hungry. So getting the hang of it was pretty vital.
I would certainly say so. I imagine it is intensely satisfying to catch a fish when the need is so great.
Probably, yeah. The need makes it more purposeful. But hey, if you ever want to try fishing for real, I'd be happy to share my bait with you. And if you catch something, I'll cook it up nicely for you. How's that for motivation?
Oh, are you a skilled chef also?
Can't promise it'll be fancy, but it'll taste good.
Impressive. Wouldn't you know it, I am suddenly overcome with the urge to excel.
Great! Let's get started.
So kind of these two to exposit about each other. Eloise, what do you have for me?
Eloise, I was hoping you could tell me some more stories about Captain Gerald.
You'd like to hear about Gerald's adventures? You seem quite taken with these stories, Leone.
Can't hurt, can it? All our work for the day is done. So remind me, how did you meet him?
Ah, it all feels like ancient history now. You see, the captain was visiting the kingdom of Fargus.
Uh-huh. Go on.
His previous squire had died from a ghastly plague. Then one day, he came upon me and appointed me his new squire.
At that age, you must have had some real talent and courage to stand out as a future knight.
Oh no, it wasn't that. I was just an orphan boy living in the monastery. I was a timid little thing.
Really? He didn't choose you for your bravery? What made him choose you then?
My face looked like the dead boys.
Wow.
What? That's it?
Well, I asked the captain, and that was the only answer he gave me.
Wow.
Abrasive to the last. That's Captain Gerald for you.
Yes. In those early days, I would sometimes wonder whether he was right in the head. When I saw him on the battlefield, though, those concerns were laid to rest. Anyway, I think I hear your professor has been looking for you. You'd better scrap.
Oh no, you're right. I'd better go. See you around.
Can't believe that. Just the way Alois said that. And the fact that that was what Gerald had told him. Unbelievable.